Hi, everybody. So I am back on. It's so good to be back on, and I hope that when you listen to this video that you would get something out of it, and you will also subscribe and hit that thumbs up button and hit that notification bell so that you can come back and receive a lot more goodies that I would like to share with you. So I just decided to share some things about my life growing up. Um, and I was around 19 when I got involved with this cult, which I didn't know at the time that it was. And it was a family of people that some of the people I already knew in my lifetime before I became a teenager. But anyway, so I got involved in this life with the occult. I'm not going to say names, I just call them one of the principal and one of the dean. These were the two head people of this organization. And I, was the first year there. It was like a honeymoon. It was great. It was great. People were so nice and so friendly and so loving and caring and just cared about me. I'm like, wow. I mean, it was just so amazing when you have so many people that, are concerned about you and come and talk to you and just, uh, just sharing the love of God with you. So it's just like your life. At that point of my life, I was just so excited. So, and I was about a year in, and actually, I was a year in. It was going on the second year. Things kind of changed just a little bit with, um, excuse me. I went and got a job because the first year I didn't work. I was just there um, on the grounds uh, and just learning the ropes of things and learning the people, whatever. Everybody didn't live there. People had their own homes, but I believe at some point we were all controlled. But anyway, um, so maybe that following year I got a job, and then maybe 6 months into my job, um, it was told that we have to give all our check. Everybody, it's like everybody put their money in the same pot. Like, so all of us that worked, we had to bring our check. Once we got paid, we had to bring our check and put it in one pot. And at first, it's just like it didn't seem to be a problem because things was going good, and I didn't miss the money as much because I was really still really enjoying myself. And I was just trusting God, because I was a Christian before I came there. I was brought up in a Christian home, and these people was Christian. I was seeing different things that I didn't see before, concerning God and salvation. And so I put my trust in these people. And so I started giving all. And then there's a time in your life where you're like, okay, I'm giving all. You ponder about it sometimes and you say, okay, I'll just let it go, whatever. But the principal who I was living with was kind. She was good, and she gave to me, a lot. Um, I don't know if I was favored or not, but it seemed like to me I was in a certain way. But anyway, she gave, like, I had money. I had I had clothes. She would always go out and buy me clothes. I would go every time, like if she went shopping, she would always come back with something for me. And even if she didn't shop for it, she had, things in her closet, a lot of stuff that she gave me, a lot of shoes, a lot of this, a lot of that. I mean, it was like I would want it for nothing. And so that went on for a while. We was having such a great time, and every time now and then the dean would come, and then things sometimes would get stirred up about something. It was always about something, and then the principal would get involved with it, and then it just seemed like things would be battling up and down against us, against the people, against whoever the dean had a problem with at the time. So um, I'm just gonna tell just a little tad bit. Later, the dean, um, I had to go or was, I don't know how I even got there. I know how I got there, but I don't know why. I just, I don't, well, whatever. I ended up living with the dean in a whole another state, in the state of Massachusetts. I ended up living with the dean. The dean, how I got there was, I used to go traveling with her, and which I'm gonna talk about the travel part next, probably my next video. And so we drove all the way to the state of Massachusetts, and then my personal sister, my biological sister, was already living there in Massachusetts. So I was so happy to see her, and I was so happy to be around her um, at that time. And then, so when she got there, she's like, dropped me off, and then she, not really dropped me off like right then. She just, we came in the house, we took all our clothes and stuff, whatever, out of the car, and then she said to me, "Well, oh, I'm gonna have to go back to Florida on tomorrow." And she said, so I was decided to fly. If you want to ride back with me, we can do that, And but I'm gonna have to go back. There's an assignment I have to do. Blah blah blah. And I did not want to go back riding with her because it was miserable. It was miserable, and nobody. I don't think anybody will understand the story until I tell them. But even when I tell the story about our travels, you would still not understand why what happened, but you will know, what I've been through. You don't understand why things happen the way it happened, but you will hear what I have to say concerning travels. But anyway, so that's how I got to Massachusetts, and I never returned back to Gainesville. My residence was then in the state of Massachusetts, and for a while I didn't mind it because my sister was there and we was going through things together. I mean, at least we had each other to talk to and stuff. And when they speak to you about certain things, it's your mind is not really there, because you would think that you would reach out to your family to say, "Well, I'm leaving this place," but your mind is not there because you I don't know, you're so hooked into this environment that you don't think to say, "Well, I'm calling my mom, I'm calling my dad, I'm going home," and you just stay there and you take all the abuse. And when I got there, I didn't have any money anymore. I didn't have the money. I didn't have the clothes and stuff like I was getting before. I had clothes, but I didn't get any new clothes like I was getting in Florida. I didn't. All of that changed, and I was just sad and depressed, so depressed and sad that I started eating, and I gained over 200 and something pounds, and coming from 130 and pounds to almost 200 and something. It was heartbreaking. I felt that like I was in prison, but then I couldn't get out of prison because my mind wouldn't let me get out of prison. And that's kind of hard to explain. I guess that's why people who are in a cult don't move out, because they can't focus, because the people that you're with always rep their whatever they're doing around the word of God. And you want to be saved, you want to love God, you want to trust God, but you're not seeing that these are the people who are twisting God's words in certain ways to get you to stay where you are. So that's what happened to me a couple of years, more than a couple of years, where I was being tricked by the hands of the enemy. So, but I thank God for his deliverance. And like I was saying, I didn't have any money. And and my credit card, they got credit cards in my name. She got credit cards in my name, over $10,000, $20,000, because I was fresh. I was a teenager when I came, so I didn't never seek to get credit cards or anything. But so, and how my information, we had to get all our information and everything when we got there. So, and our information was done for church purposes, but it turned out differently for whatever. So anyway, that's what was happening. I didn't have any money. My credit was being abused. And so once I ask, like even when I got paid. I was working, so she would come by the job to pick me up. One time, the day that I got a check, and the reason why I say it on time is because the days that I didn't have a check, I would get off at 9 o'clock in the morning, and I won't be picked up until 5 p.m. I work overnights, and I wouldn't get out. Sometimes I won't get picked up until 5 p.m. It was always late every day. But the days I got paid, I was picked up on time, taken to the bank. I'm not to the, yeah, I had to cash my check. Cash my check. She took my check, cash my check, or sometimes I would cash it, give the money to her. We would go from store to store. She would spend money on her and her children and whoever else she wanted to, but mainly on her. Would not buy me anything, not one thing. Now, food, like if we go out to eat, she will buy me food. Okay, so then I said one day, I said to her, I said, well, I would like to have $10. Can you give me just $10 so I can at least go buy me some lotion or something, to make me feel, I didn't tell her like to make me feel good, but I wanted $10 to go buy me something because I wanted to feel good about myself. I wanted something because I was going through this depression and everything. And so she said, well, if I give you $10 out of your check, if I go to McDonald's, will you buy my children something out of your $10? And I'm thinking, I said, no. And the reason why I said no, you have like 700 plus of my money. You want me to spend the $10 that I have on your children, and when you can buy it yourself. So that was her reason of getting out, of saying that, of saying no. That's why she's not giving me $10, because I won't spend $10 on her children. And I was like, this is crazy. It's not that I'm being selfish. It's selfish because you have my 700 plus dollars. So why not give me 10? And this is a part of when I was in that occult, and it was very, very difficult, and is a very ugly situation. But at the time, I didn't see that I was in a cult. I didn't see all these things. Now, toward the end, I kind of figured things was, a little different and a little crazy, whatever. But for years, I didn't realize that I was in a cult. And but by the grace of God, God brought me through. So if you are listening and maybe someone's treating you the same way that I have been treated, even though you go to work and you do this, but you're still controlled by somebody, you are in an occult. I don't care if it's just you and one individual. I don't care if it's you and 3 and you and 5 or you and 100. You still are in an occult. You need to break free. Pray and ask God to help you break free. And you parents and families out there who are listening to this video, don't pressure them, because they are not going to move, because they're not themselves. They're being brainwashed, and they don't realize that they've been brainwashed. I didn't realize that I was being brainwashed. So don't fight against them. Don't, you pray. If you're a family that know how to pray, and if you're a family that don't know how to pray, seek someone that does know how to pray. Just keep the word of God on them, and God will bring victory. God will bring victory, because the more that you try to push in there, whatever, and you're not where you can get them, kidnap them or whatever, if you're not in that position where you can do that, you just have to pray, because you call them, you keep saying negative stuff against their leaders, it's just going to make them turn their hearts against you. So I encourage the parents, the family, and I encourage the one that's in the occult, please seek God for yourself, because that's where your freedom comes. And even if you think that you are already free, you're not. You're not. All right. You be encouraged until the next time. Bye.